Hi, in this tutorial I'm going to talk about the teleprompter and record mode. So I'm going to show you the teleprompter here running on an iPad, and in a minute I'll show you the output. But for now, what I wanted to concentrate on was the fact that here's the text of the teleprompter here alongside and on the left hand side, and right next to it, if I cover this up, you can see it's covering up the actual lens of the iPad. So what it's doing is giving you a preview here so you can check yourself. So when you've got this mounted or you're holding it in front of you, you can see, and it makes sure that your eyeline then is looking down this camera lens, and I'll go into that in a bit more detail in a second. But the other thing to note is that if you turn this up the other way, you will notice that the lens is on this side. So it depends which way you feel comfortable doing the presentation and doing the recording. And some people have a dominant right eye or a dominant left eye, and so just experiment and see which one you feel more comfortable. So now I'm going to just show you if I turn back to the output of the actual iPad, so now you can see the main menu where you've got the two modes. So we're going to cover the teleprompter and record mode, the one on the right hand side. The first part of this is exactly the same as the previous mode, as the teleprompter only mode, in that you can edit your text, you can change your text, you can save your text, you can recall another script. If I, for instance, call up one of these scripts, I can just do that. So everything else there is the same, but when you press the arrow icon in the bottom right, it then goes on to this mode. And what you'll see is that I'm now seeing a preview on the right hand side of the teleprompter of myself, and I can look down the lens and I can see a preview, so I can check my framing or whatever I need to do, and I can see where I am. And now as the text goes up, I'm looking down the left side with the text on the right hand side of the lens. So if I cover up the lens there, you can see it. So what you want to try and do, if I'm engaging you now and talking on this camera, I'm looking straight down the lens. If I start to look off or do anything, it's fine. If I'm doing a demonstration like this where I talk about the iPad and then come back to you, that's fine. But if you're doing say a 60-second or a 2-minute piece to camera, best thing is to just look down the lens and engage the audience. So this teleprompter app helps you to do that. So now when I press play on my teleprompter, I can look down the lens and say teleprompter app. You can use this text as a sample script, and also, and I might pause that and say, okay, I need it to be a bit faster. So the same thing applies, that the Hare and the Tortoise slider gives you the speed, and the plus or minus gives you the size of the text. So I press play. So I'm now looking. You can use this text as a sample script and also to learn about the features. So now I'm looking down the lens. If I start to look directly at the text, you can probably see, looking in the iPad preview, that I'm actually not really engaging the audience in the same way. So experiment with that and try to look down the lens as much as you can. The other thing to note is on this you've got a record button. So when I press the record button, I get a countdown and I can select 3, 5 or 10 seconds, and what it will do is then give you a countdown, so you can set yourself, you can put yourself in place, make sure everything's good, and then it will count down and start recording after those 5 seconds. The other thing at the top here is this slider, which allows you to change the preview size. So if you want it to be a bigger preview or a small preview, I generally have it set about here so that I can just get a gauge of the frame before I start. And obviously how much of that preview you have affects the size of your script and how much script you've got. And of course you can still adjust these with the plus and minus here. So hopefully that's helped to give you an understanding of the record mode of the teleprompter. As usual, any feedback, any questions, please let us know. Email feedback@videogo.technology or leave a comment under the video. Thanks very much.